Blog Talk Radio.
All right. It appears that Blog Talk is allowing me to get this word out. All praises to our Elohim, Elohai. All praises to the Elohim of Isaac, Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. All praises. All praises to the Father who created all of this. All praises to the Mother who allows for sanctification of all of this. And all praises to Yahweh Shai who allows us the way through all of this. All praises. Now, it has been a very interesting week, time, month, year. It's just been wild. First, I want to say, June 3rd, esoterically, all the planets aligned behind the Earth, marking the first time in eons that has occurred, which allows for straightforward thinking, straightforward energy, and straightforward connection to the source yesterday or 2 days ago. And it's a beautiful thing because the more the planets dance for us, the more we gain truth, the more we gain understanding, the more we gain wisdom. See, the problem with 83 is their eschatology. See? And before we get all thick and heavy in this, let's talk about eschatology real quick. Eschatology, the doctrine of the last things. Eschatology, the doctrine of the last things. It was originally a Western term referring to Jewish, Christian, and Muslim beliefs about the end of his story, the resurrection of the dead, the last judgment, the Messianic era, and the problem of theodicy, the vindication of God's justice. Vindication, the action of clearing someone of blame or suspicion. See, this is the problem with them. Their eschatology is defunct. Okay. Now, their eschatology is looking for a rapture. Let me see. Did I put this up here? Is looking for a way out. Their eschatology is the end of their history, the end of the dead, the last judgment, the Messianic era, the problem. See, these are negative thought processes in one's eschatology, okay? Because the eschatology should be the opposite. So what's the opposite of eschatology? If eschatology is the end, then what's the opposite? The Genesis, the beginning. So we look at eschatology, or rather we look at the end as the beginning. They look at the end, they look at it as just the end. So this is why they're having major consternation right now, major consternation, and it's written all over their face. Their children they can't afford their rent. Their jobs are not paying them as much. The system is seemingly left them behind. They're screaming about genocide and or I should say it like this: they're screaming about the hypocrisy of not understanding that it's within their own hypocrisy that they speak. They want to do things the way that they used to so bad that they're doing it at their own demise. Meaning, let's say they want to have a party. Okay, haven't had a party. They want to go have a party, but one of the kids is sick. Let's say got strep throat. Well, they're not going to forego. They're not going to cancel the party. They're going to put that kid up in the room and not allow that kid to come out. Yet at the same time, the diseasement or the sickness is in the house. So people come over, that kid got up and walked to the kitchen, touched some things and breathed on everything. And, it's just the sickness is in the house, figuratively and literally. It's in the house. And then their friends come over, and then a week later, a couple of their friends get sick, and they wonder why. All at the cost of trying to bring things back into normalcy of the Gentile way. Now let's talk about Gentiles real quick. Gentile, person who is not Jewish, which is a lie, okay? Has nothing to do with Jewish. Has nothing to do with Jewish, okay? And the word stems from the Hebrew term goy, which means a nation, and was applied both to the Hebrews, right, and to any other nation. The plural goyim, especially with the definition article hagoyim, the nations, meant nations of the world that were not Hebrew. Kind of this definition here is a little tricky. It's out of Britannica, okay? It's out of Britannica. So it's kind of this yes and no type deal. Yes, it's all nations outside of Jewish, but it was applied to Hebrews and to any other nation, as if the Hebrews were not, as if the Jewish people have no correlation to the Hebrews. They don't, but yet they're using, but they initially state the word stems from the Hebrew. So, you got to take it for what it's worth, okay? But as we go deeper into this, it says righteous Gentiles, because I asked the question, who are the righteous Gentiles in the Bible? The righteous Gentiles in the Hebrew Bible, ancient role models for sacred relationships. The Hebrew Bible, as part of its narrative, features non-Jews who are central to key stories and who are held forth as righteous people by their actions and relationships with significant Jewish characters. So it's constantly flipping, it's confusing Hebrew and Jewish, because this is what they're set up to do, to confuse, okay? But what is an example of a Gentile? Because none of that really gave you a definition. But now check this out. Now, what is an example of a Gentile? Romans, Greeks, Syrians, and Egyptians. Okay? And the like are classified merely as Gentiles, goyim or nokrim. The rabbis had one term for all non-Israelites, whether idolaters or farmers, liars or trustworthy, Greek or Roman. So we can demise from this that a Gentile is a Greek or Roman. Okay? And they put in the Syrians and Egyptians, which is true, but none were as devious and grievous as the Greeks and the Romans. So those are heathen Gentiles. See, they don't talk about that. Heathen Gentiles, okay? Now, why is this important? Because a lot of Gentiles today, a lot of Caucasian Gentiles come with the caucasity of ignorance, upset because we don't listen to them. That because we're not following them, because we don't care about them. And their whole basis of existence and being is based on our belief in them. Now, you look at the television, and everything is about the caucasity of Caucasians. Everything. Okay? And now, when their caucasity has caught up with them, and they're like, well, I just love Jesus, and or not even I love Jesus, because they don't even talk about Jesus no more. They talk about Yeshua. Yeshua, is his real name, the J's. Now I'm watching them try to come correct without coming correct, and we see this. I got my eyes and ears to the fullness of the Gentiles right now, because their fullness has come in, has past tense come in. And they're still believing that they're still in their fullness. No, it's already come in. It's done. They've been full. Their bellies are fat. And now they want to try to extrapolate more from their past without telling on themselves. And it's quite literally crazy to me, because it's all about their eschatology. So when we sit back and have sat back and discussed eschatology with them and said, hey, Jacob is the end of the world. Esau is before Jacob. So Esau got his, and then Jacob comes in at the end. It's the new beginning. It's the new era. They don't want to hear that. On TikTok, you get this dude, this white dude who has some audacity and gumption to read our scriptures and take them read them as they are, but yet take it completely out of context and add themselves into it, as they have always been doing, and then has the audacity to catch an attitude when you correct them. See, they're in the stage of the inability to self-correct. They're self-reflecting. That's why they talk about Yeshua. That's why they trying to listen to our information. That's why they trying to copycat. That's why they trying to cheat. It's like this, like they asking us for a cheat sheet. Back in the day, I'm not going to say I did it, but I know I have some folks that did it. You have a little cheat sheet to go into the test, and you pass it around. This is what they expect us to do. They're like, hey, can I? What's the answer? No, there's no. You should have studied. And that's the funny. When the Father shut them down in 2020 and we went hardcore studying, they went hardcore trying to party. That's why all this distraction now is going on with Biden and the fake Jews and stupid Trump and the stupid Negroes that are trying to act like politics work and voting matters, and any of that stuff is of any consequence. That's what this is about. They are trying to maintain a distraction enough to get us back looking at them when our eyes are on the prize. And we're like, nah, we don't care. What do you mean you don't care? We all got to vote. We got to do something. We got to get this. We got to do that. No, we don't. You need to do that. If that's what you choose, you do it. If you want to cast your lot with heathens, for heathens, then do so. See, the heathen Gentiles have been running around talking crazy in their eschatology and in their theology regarding the lesser of the two evils. This has been their whole game. They have been set up, they have set themselves, they've been set up too. They've set themselves up on the premise and basis of the lesser of the two evils. That's what this is. It's always been about, well, this guy's not as good as this guy. That guy's not as good as this guy. So if you want some guy, you got to have this guy. It's always a duality of the lesser of the two evils. Now, I want to say this real quick. Esoterically, I feel like I'm kind of sound. I feel like a lot of us have studied long enough now, 7, 10, 14, 15, 20 years now, to realize what what esoteric meanings and strengths and weaknesses we have. I don't feel like I need to go into esoteric understanding of things anymore. Not me. I mean, I do all the time, but I don't always have to say these things, because to me it's a given. It's like, this is geometry. This is like ancient geometry. Certain things are innate and a given at this point. Hence why the heathen Gentiles can't get onto it, because they are not geometrically sound. They do not understand the rationale of givens. They deal with the lesser of the two. That's why they still they still debating, our scriptures. When they've had these, they still debating whether the law is done away with or if there's Jew nor Greek, and they've had the scriptures for 2,000 years. So they are not esoterically sound. They don't even get it. And we see it. And now it's very, very, very evident that they are nowhere near our level. Plus, like I was saying, the Father shut down their world in 2020. Which gave us an opportunity to be hardcore to fast start or fast to be a quicker. That's not the word. He gave us an opportunity to go AP on them, to go get our doctorate on them of our own scriptures. Meaning we were able to sit back and read in peace. Sit back and study in peace, And now everything, and I dare say everything, but most everything that we have been studying, let's say we studied 15 years ago, now they're on to. And we already know that, like, we're so far past them that they are not in any shape or capacity to come against us. That's why they don't. That's why all they can do is go to our listen to our channels and regurgitate it in the wrong way. They vomit it up, right? They vomit up our truth. It's like critical race. It's like in Kansas, these middle states that were sundown towns that were lynching big time our people, they just came out talking about, you can't vote. Voting is not a constitutional right. Now the heathen Gentiles is all up in arms. But hey, isn't that something that they did? You can't vote. You can't vote. Isn't that what they did to us? So the things that they are getting done now, we've already gone through. We have been brought up to have thick, strong strength of character, strength of knowledge, strength of wisdom to get through this time. This is why, their tribulation will be great, because they are weak. They are soft. Their populations are down. Oh, well, it's the food. No, it's because you guys allow for sodomy. It's simple. This is not rocket science. If you're not utilizing your members properly and you're utilizing them in proper, how are you going to populate? Oh, just like this month is all Pride Month. Again, Pride Month. So you're prideful of your sodomy, and then you're going to be upset because you don't populate. Your population growth is down. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Oh, well, it's just love everybody. No, I mean, you put hormones into the milk. You put testosterone into the bread. You're polluting it. You're poisoning the earth. And you wonder why your world is in dire straits. It's not rocket science. This is not a difficult task. You lie about the origins. You lie about your history. You lie about your spirituality. And you wonder why you guys can't get nothing right at this time. It's not rocket science. It just is what it is. Based on your past, it will dictate your present, which will ultimately create your future. This is what's going on. So, the critical race theory, so the people, the grandparents and great-grandparents who were kicking our people's behinds, treating them bad, doo-dooing on them, lynching them, just being barbaric very brutish against our people. They don't want their great-grands and grands to realize that they were part of that. They want everybody to believe that, Nazism and fascism was over in somewhere else. No, sir, that was here. This is where that all stemmed from. This is where it all stemmed from. This is where they got the ideas of all that. This was the proving ground of the heathen Gentile against our people. And then they wonder, then they sit back and they wonder, why is my eschatology all jacked up? How come I can't be forgiven? How come, I can't, I'm not going to apologize for something I didn't do. I didn't have nothing to do with this. Okay. Well, little do you know, esoterically, reincarnation is a real thing. So would it not make sense that the Father has to judge all of the spirits? So those same spirits back then that were doing the wickedness are the same spirits that's here. The same spirits that were trying to be righteous are the same spirits that are here today, incarnate. That's why when heathen Gentiles say, well, I can't repent. I don't need to repent for my parents. I didn't have nothing to do with nothing. It had nothing to do with me. There's no sins of the father's sins against. No, there's nothing like that. Well, that's because innately your spirit has blocked you until the appropriate time for you to do so, because you will be judged based on what you've done. So when the Father opens your eyes to what the truth is of your self-conviction, your self-reflection, self-conviction, and self-correction, there won't be any question about it. And it seems like this is what the Father's doing now, because he is it fair to judge and beat a person when they're asleep? No. He's waiting for the proper time for all eyes to be up. That's why he woke us up first. He brought us back to remembrance first, because we still had to get all of that shit out of us. All of the wretched wickedness out of us first. Because we're going to judge the nations. And when that doesn't mean that we're going to be over them with the gavel, judge. No, we are the testimony against the nations. Therefore, we judge the nations. That's why we have to be clean, because when we go as a testimony, believe you me, the heathens will say, well, look at them, they still do this and they do that. That's why it's only a remnant. There's only a portion that will be saved. Now, why am I even going to that? Because I was reading Jubilees. And chapter 23 in Jubilees is strong. This is the chapter where Abraham dies. And what's interesting in this is that Abraham dies, Isaac, Ishmael, and Jacob go to their father. And they bury him, or they put him next to Sarah, okay? Not one part in this is about Esau. Yet, at the same time, the Father is telling us from 1 to 23, that there's going to be this calamity amongst his people. Once Abraham, which is another thing that's interesting, Abraham, it says in 10, for Abraham was perfect in all his deeds. Oh, ain't nobody perfect. This was their way of keeping us without recourse, okay? So they would say, that dude right there raped my mom, killed my dad, beat down and broke my brother's arms and legs, and now he's invalid. They raped my sister, and the white boys are sitting over there, and their family and the jury of their peers are saying, well, no one's perfect. They just, boys will be boys. Nobody's perfect. Oh, but the only perfect person in the world ever was Jesus. But it says right here, for Abraham was perfect in all his deeds with Yahweh Shai. So for me, people go, well, ain't nobody well, I beg to differ. I strive for perfection, because if I don't ever strive for perfection, then certainly I will never be perfect. But the whole game, or the whole point of existence, is to be perfect in the Father's eyes. So perfection is what we seek with the Father. But no, not the Goyim. The Hagoyim, they don't care about perfection. They want to sodomize, they want to murder, they want to kill, they want to destroy, they want to lie, they want to cheat. And yet, when we say, well, listen, we don't want no parts of that, because that is imperfect. Now they got all in their feelings, upset at the facts, upset at their facts. It's like you can't even make this stuff up. It's like Ish over there. You might as well call it genocide. And Ish is genociding these Arabs that call themselves Palestinians, okay? And they want to catch an attitude when you call them out for genociding these people, and they say, well, we get to defend ourselves. Okay, that's fair. You get to defend yourself. But when did Israel ever get to defend themselves? Which is a telltale sign that they are not a true Israel. And then they want to say, well, we're not really genociding, we're not doing anything, we're just defending ourselves. But you look at the land, and it's completely demolished. The whole Gaza Strip is destroyed. That's not genocide? Just like they came over here and they murdered everybody. Oh, that's not genocide. The only genocide there was over in Germany when Ish got put, only 6 million of them got put in gas chambers. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that, and I'll raise you the last 2,000 plus years. As a matter of fact, I won't even raise you that. I'll keep that as my wild card. I'll just raise you the last 400 years of my people. I'll raise you that. What say you? Oh, well, it's not just Ish. It's what Japan did to China. They genocide. What? Those are the only two in the history. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that too, because that's your history. That's his story. Has nothing to do with me, right? So today, full circle, don't get upset, don't be upset, and don't even look my way when I don't care what's going on with you. Because that has nothing to do with me. That's not my story. You won't acknowledge my story, so why should I care about what's going on with you? See, and this is the conundrum that they face, because the conundrum is that if they come back at us for saying these things, they have to own up to many things. It now has to be spoken of. And see, the word is a double-edged sword. So you talk about your genocide, I'm going to talk about my genocide. Oh, you talk about your murder, I'm going to talk about my murder. See? It's a double-edged sword now. And because their sword has been taken from them and our sword is here now with us, ours will cut deeper. That's why they ain't messing with us. That's why they trying to murder the Palestinians. That's why they trying to kill and distract and be degenerate with anything and sodomize themselves to get to make it difficult for anyone to pay attention, to make it so debased that no one's paying attention to the glory of our Genesis. This is the deal. And the Father showed this to me, and I was like, the problem with 83 is their eschatology. They don't understand. Things come full circle. Things are full circle. So then I go, okay, so what is the gospel of ancient Israel, of us? What is our gospel? So their eschatology and their gospel is
what did I say? What did they say? It was the resurrection of the dead, the last judgment, the messianic era, and the problem of theodicy. Okay, the vindication of God's justice, the action of clearing someone of blame or suspicion. Okay, well, ours is this. Jubilees, chapter 23. Ours is. Let me just make sure I want to start there. Yeah, but yeah. Ours is, and in those days, the children shall. This is 26. Jubilees 23, 26. And in those days, this is after our tribulation, after the pain that the Gentiles have caused us. And I know this because it says, he says, and he will wake up against them the sinners of the Gentiles, who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who shall respect the person of none, neither old nor young, nor any one. For they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all. That's my little side whistle since I ain't got one. This is my little mixer. All the children of men. I mean, you can't even, these are the words that are cutting them today. That's why at the end, well, let me keep going. And let me just read from 23. We're going to say, and he, because this is the punishment that will befall the generations from Yahweh Shai for what his people acted. Okay, this is after Abraham. So it says, and he will wake up again. He will wake up against them, the sinners of the Gentiles, right? Who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who shall respect the person of none, neither old nor young, nor any one. For they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. And they shall use violence against Israel and transgression against Jacob. See, that's the northern and southern kingdom. Violence against Israel. That's what they did. They came over here. They used great violence against us. Dogs, swords, guns, lies, and trickery, and transgression against Jacob. Let's look at this real quick. I like doing this. Just bear with me. I like wordplay. I need to know. A transgression is something that is against a command or law. So they use the law. The law is done away with against Jacob. And much blood shall be shed upon the earth. And there shall be none to gather and none to bury. In those days, they shall cry aloud, talking about Israel, and call and pray that, talking about Israel and Jacob. In those days, they shall cry aloud and call and pray that they may be saved from the hand of the sinners, the Gentiles, but none shall be saved, right? That was a lot of our people. And the heads of the children shall be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks shall appear old like a man of 100 years, and their stature shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days, the children shall begin to study the laws and to seek the commandments and to return to the path of righteousness. All praises, okay? And the days shall begin to grow many and increase amongst those children of men, till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years, and to a greater number of years than before was the number of the days. Now, let me see. And let me go. And there shall be no old man, nor one who is not satisfied with his days, for all shall be as children and youth. Now, this is the smoking gun. Okay? And why do I say that? Because black don't crack. And the older we get, the younger we look. Some of us in our 60s looking like we in our 40s, our 50s looking like we in our 30s. Okay? So this is the commonality of what the Father's telling us, how when we in those days begin to study the laws and to seek the commandments and to return to the path of righteousness, there shall be no old man, nor one who is not satisfied with his days. For all shall be as children and youths, and all their days they shall complete and live in peace and enjoy, and there shall be no Satan, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be days of blessing and healing. And at that time the Father will heal his servants, and they shall rise up and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous shall see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. And their bones shall rest in the earth, and their spirits shall have much joy. And they shall know that it is Yahweh Shai who executes judgment, and shows mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do thou, Moses, write down these words, for thus are they written, and they record them on the heavenly tablets for a testimony for the generations forever. Oh, well, that's what we're here for, to bring this back to remembrance. This is our Genesis. Our Genesis is the nuance, it's the beginning. It's after all of the fullness of the fatness of the degenerate, reprobate Gentiles, heathens, okay? After they have done their due, then we become the judges for them or against them by way of our testimony. You don't think that all this calamity and this degenerate and this and they shall use violence against Israel and transgression against Jacob? Some brothers and sisters like, well, God, and of course, Christian, oh, well, God's a loving God, and he doesn't want to, some brothers say, well, I don't know, he wants all his children. Listen, what do they say? He wants all his creation to thrive. Sure, he does, but he also knows that there is a wretchedness, a wickedness afoot, and and if karma is true, then would that not mean that justice also stands clear with the Muslim? I mean, come on. Would not justice prevail? This is all that people talk about, justice, 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 justice. Even the heathen Gentiles talk about justice. But somehow the Creator doesn't want any justice. He's just going to take a blind eye for what people did to his nation? I mean, come on, this is not difficult. This is not a heathen Gentile eschatology. Okay? It's just not. This is ours. This is how we begin. This is the nuanced, the new beginning of the kingdom to come. Okay? That's why reading is fundamental to our knowledge, which then is fundamental to our understanding, which then is fundamental and a prerequisite to our wisdom. For a long time, we sat around and dealt with their wisdom. For a long time. Now, I want to play this TikTok before we go forward. Hold on.
Let's see. Is in your basic nature.
Hold on.
Spirituality is in your basic nature.
Talk about us.
Your nature has been compromised by evil people.
Isn't that what this just said? Isn't that what Jubilees just said?
Who have punished you, embarrassed you, imprisoned you, enslaved you, and did a lot of things to you that they couldn't allow. But here you stand today. You stand under the power of being in the image of God. I tell black women, it could be the closest to God you ever get is being with a black man. Because you are in the image of God. And that's been the big secret. It's to make you think that you were less than God and that you had no authority or power on the earth. You're in the image of God. You act like God. God made you first. You're the best. You're the wisest. You're the most beautiful. You just been under some people that made you lose your way. Spirituality.
I mean, if that's not pure facts, I don't know what is. And that goes to, again, our Genesis, okay? Goes to our Genesis, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, 2 through 5. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. And they who? The Gentiles, the heathen Gentiles, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God, and his lot is among the saints? See, this is the madness of the heathen Gentiles. This is not their eschatology. This is our Genesis. That's what this is. Our Genesis. Our beginning. Our re-emerging. Our reincarnating. Our rebirth. Why in the hell would they need to be rebirthed into a salvation, another salvation, when they already have their salvation here? And now that their salvation is coming to an end, now they want to crowd on ours? Back up, shorty. Why you all up on me? Let me have my salvation. Now, if you want to take part of it, there's a criteria. There are prerequisites. There is a study program, a curriculum that you must ascertain and do before you can be in my space for my salvation. This is mine. And I'm not saying you can't have it. I just told you, in order to have this salvation that you see me with, the strangeness of my salvation, you got to do something, shorty. You can't sit here and just get a cheat sheet and cheat your way through it. You can't lie your way through. You can't murder your way through it. You can't steal. You know, you're going to have to do something. I know that you guys, Gentiles, heathen Gentiles alike, I know that you guys have always said that you don't have to work at doing nothing, which is a premise of your entire society, because you had us working for your gain. Now, is it not fitting that you have to work for your gain? See, this is not rocket science. This is not a difficult concept. It may be a tough lesson, a big pill to swallow, but better you than me, because I've already done my time. That's why hold on. That's why they now have gone so far backwards and so far in dementedness that they allow a felon to be their their idol is a felon. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. I mean, the lesser of the two evils. Okay, so you got a felon, a 34-count felon, and you got a degenerate. Let me stop. You got a degenerate, reprobate, 34-count felon, and you got a degenerate, reprobate pedophile. Not even a babbler. The Father said that he will shut the king's mouth. This is what you see. Ain't none of them saying nothing. They ain't saying nothing like nothing. And who's the kings? The kings that have been ruling the earth. Has Putin been ruling the earth? I mean, he's ruling his section. I mean, Xi's been ruling his section. But who has been ruling the earth? The only and I believe
I believe that the Father is waiting. He's got something major in store for that nasty hoot fella, because that dude's mouth won't shut up. So he's doing it in the face of the Father, okay? So because everybody else's mouth is shut. Biden, Trump, the dude from Canada, the French guy, the Germans, the English, the Spanish, all these dudes, all these Portuguese, all of them, their mouths are shut. You don't hear nothing from them. Very little. But that dude over there who calls himself, but is not, straight up out of Ukraine, that fool, he just talking, and he talking too much. It's going to be a great day when he shuts up, when the Father shuts his mouth. It's going to be I think that's going to be the cusp, our full awakening. Like I think when he's gone, this is when they're going to be like Wisdom Solomon. When they see it, they're going to be troubled with terrible fear. Okay, and you can see the days coming. I mean, it's coming. It's coming. Okay, so then we move on. Like this is the thing. You know, the Christians. Let's get on to the heathen Christian Gentiles. Okay. They run around talking doo-doo about all of their weak knowledge of our scriptures, like 2 Thessalonians says that this is the rapture. I mean, how you get that from that? I don't. I still don't see it. Even when I read it, and I go, okay, I'm gonna have an open mind. This is about a rapture. It doesn't say that. None of it speaks to that. Oh, well, we're going to get these Gentiles out of here. No, it doesn't speak to that at all. If anything, which it is something, it speaks to the saints being brought up to come back and put the wood to the nations to help Yahweh Shai fight the nations. This is the ignorance of the Christian heathen Gentile. They don't understand. After 2,000 years, they still don't understand. But nevertheless, so when I read these things, it just makes sense. Hey, this is 2 Timothy 3, right? This know also that in the last days of the Gentiles, in the eschatology of the Gentiles, perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, narcissism, sodomite, covetousness, covetous. Hey, you're African American, or hey, I want what you got, or hey, Gaza, I want Gaza. Boasters, look at me. Proud. This is June Pride Month. Blasphemers. Oh, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Jesus. You people don't know nothing. Disobedient to parents. Hey, F you, Mom. I don't care about what you're talking about, Dad. You need to do this for me, Dad. Unthankful. Oh, that's not the car I wanted. I mean, you just gave me roses? I said, what you mean you're not going to pay for my dinner? Unholy. Let me sodomize you. Let me sodomize you. Unholy. Without natural affection. Truce breakers. I mean, false accusers. Incontinent. Fierce. Despisers of those that are good. Traitors. Heady. High-minded. Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Elohim. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. The Pope is my God. Jesus is my God. My pastor is my God. From such turn away. Be in it, but not of it. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. All over the Tele-Lot vision, the women are running around half naked. All over it. All in the magazines, all in real life. half naked. The girls running around with these low ass shorts. I'm like, oh my God. Just ass and legs and boobies hanging out. And dudes the same thing. They just running around how they want to run around. It's madness. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. I'm a PhD. I have all the knowledge. Look at me. I'm Dr. Fauci. Now, as James and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. I mean, if this ain't what's going on now so these are perilous times for the heathen Gentiles and the Christian heathen Gentiles. But they shall proceed no further. Like, see, this is what we're doing. We're telling them, hey, it's a wrap. For their folly shall be manifest unto all men. We're seeing the foolishness of their actions, as theirs also was. So, as we were foolish, we get to see their foolishness. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, and patience. So that's why I keep saying they've had our scriptures for over 2,000 years. And if you don't know me by now, you'll never, ever, ever know me. It's what the Father's saying. You guys have had my stuff for 2,000 plus years. What he said, but thou hast fully known my doctrine. Fully, he said. Manner of life, how I want you to live, what your purpose is, what faith is, how to be long-suffering, how to be charitable, and how to have patience. Yet, I just added that, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured. But out of them all, Yahushua delivered me. Yea, and all that will live godly in Yahushua shall suffer persecution. So we have been his people. He came from us, came out of us. And again, Yahushua was persecuted. The prophets were persecuted. His people were persecuted. Where's the persecution of Ish? Where's the persecution of the church? Where's the persecution of Europeans? The Horites, Edomites, Idumea. Where is that persecution? Have they not been the persecutors? How then can they be persecuted? Who is persecuting them? Is it themselves? Aha, that's what's about to happen. That's what we're seeing now. That's what's going on today. They are persecuting themselves, and they looking at us, trying to get us to be to help them out from persecuting themselves. And we're like, no, you need to go ahead and persecute. Do it. You feeling froggy? Jump, nigga. Do it. Do what you need to do. Because this is not our business. Because you have persecuted us, you persecuted our brethren, you persecuted our sisters, you persecuted our nation, you persecuted our Elohim, you persecuted our Messiah. Why does everybody on the face of the earth have a deity that looks like them, and you want us to worship it? We have now become like Abraham, our father, and we want no parts of your idolatry. All of every nation, Goyim nation, every heathen, every Gentile, every folly, fooly, ignorant, reprobate, degenerate person who is not cleaving to us is into idolatry. Even those people on TikTok who run around taking our scriptures out of context, they into idolatry because they're coveting our scriptures for themselves in their mind, believing it to be their white Jesus. Because where are they persecuted? Perilous times for these heathens. Perilous times. I'll say it again. Perilous times. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Take heed that no man deceive you. Take heed. For the righteous scarcely get in. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of knowing, and whom thou hast learned them. See, this is, let me read that again because this is key. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of knowing, of whom thou hast learned them. That's us. We know that the Holy Spirit, we take heed. We take heed in the things which we have learned from our Holy Spirit, from our earthly mother, from our Holy Ruach. We take heed in what we've learned through Yahweh Shai, in his ways, in his persecution. And we take heed in the redemption, in the grace, in the mercy that the Father, and the chastisement that the Father put us through to get us to this point. So no, we don't want nothing that you offering, heathen Gentiles, Christian, Sodomites alike. We don't want none of it. And listen, these are words that these are not bywords. These are not bywords. And you may be upset at these words that you're hearing, but that's not our business. That's not our problem. We're not calling you out your name. You've changed all the names, so you've already made it so for you to be called out of your name. You've already made it so. You have created this mess. This mess of a hell, this hell of a mess. And it used to be that we would help you clean it up. Or it used to be that we would clean it up. Then it used to be that we would help you clean it up. Now we're like, nah, you clean your own shit up. I mean, we're done with that. You did this. The moment I help clean it up, all you're going to do is blame me for it. Isn't that what he said? Where was that? Where was that? The blame. Oh, goodness. Anyway, they're no longer going to blame us. They can't blame us for anything. And if they do, it won't stick because we don't accept the blame. That's what all this is about. Their whole eschatology is to run around, kill, steal, destroy, and then project and blame us for their actions. That's why they don't want to talk about their history. That's why they don't want to talk about nothing except for a genocide of Ish. That's highly, highly, highly questionable. They don't want to talk about what they did to our people. Ish alike. They don't want to talk about what they did to you niggas always complaining. They want to talk about what they owe us. Hey, Gentiles, your accommodations were great. Your food was expensive and exceptional. But you know what? Here's the bill. Your accommodations and your food was great. But here's the bill. You're not going to get out of this. You're going to have to work for your salvation. We've worked for ours. That's why you're going to be in amazement of our salvation. Because you're going to be like, well, wait, why aren't they working like we working? Because we've already worked. No, you didn't work. You haven't done anything. Reincarnation, baby. You can believe it or not. Our people can believe it or not. It don't matter to me. I mean, I'm just looking at, because I've always felt, well, damn, I've lived like several lives, I feel like. And if you know, being over 50, I'm going, so my first, my 1 through 10 years, dang, that was a different life. My 10 through 20 years, that was a different life. 20 through 30, different life. 30 through 40, different life. 50, now I'm 40 to 50, different life. Now I'm in my 50 to 60s, and I'm going, this is a completely different me. But all of that built me. So because all of that built me, and I had different spirits throughout that time, there's something to this reincarnation. I don't care. Again, people can, oh, well, I don't want to hear him. I don't like the music. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, he's talking about I don't give a filth flarn. I don't. Because at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. And you look at all the heathens and their degenerateness, and you wonder, how was it that our people had to go through that? And how is it that those people could put our people through that? Well, it had to be hate, and that just doesn't, you don't just come out. No, that's a spiritual thing, hate. All the way back to Esau, all the way back to Cain. Reincarnated over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. There's your esoteric Gentiles, heathens alike, and Ish. And their Kabbalism. We already know, they already know, everyone already knows. So, hey, the cat's out the bag. Don't come to me sideways acting like I have to acknowledge what you've done when you don't acknowledge what you've done. I mean, I know what you've done. Do you know what you've done? My spirit has told me exactly what you've done. In truth. Has yours? And that, this is 15, and that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures, that's exactly what I'm talking about, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Yahweh Shai. All Scripture is given by inspiration of Elohai, of the Most High, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for self-reflection, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of the Most High, that the men and women of the Most High may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. Perfect. So, hey, Gentiles, if you're not striving for perfection, then you can't get salvation. I mean, it's simple. You have to study to show yourself approved. You got to know who the people are. You got to repent. You've got to work to repent, because you got a lot to work off. You know, it's just like going to a 5-star fancy restaurant and ordering $1 million, and your credit card don't work, and they go, you got to work that off. You're gonna have to get to the dishes. You're gonna have to get to the floors. You're gonna have to get to the vacuuming. You're gonna have to get to the dusting. You're gonna have to do something. See, because we've already done that. We've been there. Matter of fact, we weren't there. We were already working there. We weren't able to go there and enjoy the labors of our fruits, or the fruits of our labors. Either way, we were not able to do that. Now we can. And, you know, it was funny as I watch it, because, you know, I go to nice restaurants. I don't want to go to a mid to low restaurant, because I don't trust these people. I don't trust with that. If there's no good service, I can tell you the food's probably crappy. And any recourse I may need, I'm not going to get. So I go, not all the time. When we go out, me and the wife, we go out to a restaurant that I know the service is exquisite. Because if something is wrong, I know they're going to fix it and satisfy me. And all will be good. So this is the same principle. Now, they got to satisfy us to make it good to us. It's not the other way around. We've done that. This is the peculiar people. Now we're peculiar to them because they're like, well, wait, you know, they're not trying to kill us like we tried to kill them. They're not trying to murder us like we tried to murder them. They're not trying to hate us with like we hated them with all the fire of hate that we've hated them with. Because we don't care, because it's no reason for me to give out hate to the heathens and the Gentiles and Ish. It's no reason for me to do that when I know that they about to catch them bows of the Father. I mean, I'm watching it. The mentality is lessened. Again, these people are murdering people, and yet they're the people. Somehow that makes, I mean, when they get to defend, really? You're the number one sodomite group, but you're trying to tell me you're the people? That's what the Father has created. He created a nation of sodomites, of righteous sodom. Get the out of here. That's ignorant. The thought process is ignorant. It's stupid. It's foolish. It's folly. It's not correct. And then we say, well, you got to cleave to us because, you know, we're the ones that studying to show ourselves approved. I ain't got to cleave to you. I love Jesus. I'll even call him Yahweh Shai, but I'm not cleaving to you. Well, how can you show Yahweh Shai love and not cleave to his people? Wouldn't it be the most loving gesture you can give Yahweh Shai to love his people? To love his people enough to cleave to his people, to be part of his tribe? I mean, common sense is gone from the Gentiles. And the reason why I'm like this is because this is the zeal that y'all don't have. This is the zeal that you guys lose out on. This is the spirit of truth that comes through. This is the passion of the Father. You know, I could feel when Yahweh Shai was getting destroyed by you. Destroyed. I could feel every bit of the noose around his neck and my people's neck. I can feel that. And you trying to tell me that we ain't this and we ain't that? Are you crazy? Who in the hell are you talking to? Who do you think you're dealing with? I think you think you're dealing with a Hamite. I'm not a Hamite. I'm a Shemite. I'm of the lineage of Shem, of the tribe of Israel and Judah, the 12 tribes. I don't know where you're from. And to be quite frank, I don't care. But the reality is you're going to put some respect on us now. Because this zeal, this truth, this passion is not going away. As a matter of fact, I can tell you this right now, unequivocally, that through the airwaves right now, this energy is going to resonate. And it's a slow descent, a slow marinade. You ain't going to be able to just get out of it. It's done. All right, let's move on. No, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work. And this is what you fear. You don't fear me. You fear that work that you got to put in. And you fear that work that your kid's going to have to put in. And that work that your granny and your granddaddy going to have to put in. Your parents going to have to put in. The work to watch old man Joe work. Oh, man. He'll probably drop dead. Trump, same thing. Pelosi, all of them. all going to have to work. Why? Because they have ridden our backs for too long, and it's a wrap. We're no longer with that. And you know what? Some could. Some will let you continue to ride their back like a donkey. So be it. That's their business. But I'm here for a purpose. My purpose is to get this word out, to get this critical thought out, to get this understanding out, to provide wisdom to our nation. It took me a long time to get to this point from the work that I had to put in. And I'm not going to sit here and let any heathen, any Gentile, any Negro, any crackerjack, anybody sidestep me like I don't know what I'm talking about in anything. Even at work, if I don't know what I'm saying, I'm going to try to figure it out before I ask the question. Why? Because I don't want no one saying, well, that dude just asked him a question. He don't know what he's talking about. No, I'm going to make sure that the questions asked is pertinent and it gets me full understanding so that I may have wisdom not to ask it again and I can move forward on to the next. And I'm watching the Gentiles lose favor. There is no honor from the Gentiles' kids to their parents. We read that in Timothy. Because they are not honorable based on their history and actions. Ain't no shame in their wickedness. They're ass out. That's why they will ultimately cleave. Look, there's no honor and no shame in what they do. And once their eyes are open, they're going to realize, holy Toledo, where are these Israelites? See, Ish got to go. And when Ish goes, that's when you're going to realize. That's when you're going to understand. That's when wisdom will hit you in the face like a Mike Tyson uppercut. And you're going to be like, what? Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. So, Israel, we good. Let me do this. Let me do this real quick because I just want to show some things. See if I can.
This is evangelical Zionism.
Listen to this.
Every single one of you needs to see this.
Somebody, I hope, get this message to Benjamin Netanyahu that he ought to take care of the rest of them yahoos. Now, I'm going to tell you what would fix it right now. By the way, it'd fix it, and it would help usher in what we're wanting so bad. Huh? While they're mowing down the Gaza Strip,
genocide.
And terrorists know exactly what we do with terrorists, which is not compromise and negotiate. What they ought to do.
How in the hell are terrorists, the number one terrorists in the world, screaming about terrorists? It's amazing. The hypocrisy is so sick.
Is evacuate up there on the hill and get a great big missile and blow that wicked dome of the rock plumb off of the spot where it's standing right now so we can get that third temple rebuilt and usher in the coming of Jesus.
So, two things. Ain't no third temple. The temple is being built now in us. And they're so ignorant that they think that they are usher in the coming. See, this is what I'm saying. They are so ignorant and foolish that they think that a Jesus is going to come and save them. When Yahushua comes, he's coming to judge the nations for what they have done to his people. Why is this so difficult for these heathens? Because their eschatology is all wrong. Let's do another one. What's this one?
I disagree with the argument that Israel controls America. Israel is America, France, and Britain in a trench coat. Those three countries drew up a new country and fund it completely so that they can maintain some power and leverage in the Middle East. There isn't an Israel by itself. When you know and accept this fact, all of the actions of America make so much more sense. We wouldn't not send bombs to ourselves. We wouldn't support the international courts if they were coming after our president. This is not about two countries who are allies or support for the Jewish community. This is literally America, France, and Britain ruling a section of the Middle East under the guise of some ancient religious text and homeland verbiage. This is also...
But see, that's the thing. Under the guise of fake-ish, they still talking about under some ancient... No, darling, you got that wrong. There is no... They have stolen ancient texts and scriptures and made a doctrine out of it to make themselves seem to be somebody, but you, darling, along with the rest of these degenerate ass heathen Gentiles, don't have a clue of looking at people's actions, the cause and effect of how things are and what people do, looking at the fruit, because, drum roll please, it will show your own. It will show your own. This is why most Caucasians will not acknowledge the past or what Israel's doing, because in their spirit, to do so would mean their spirit is fully awakened to the hypocrisy of themselves, of their history, of who their parents were, who their grannies were, who their grandfathers were, what this country was built on. And this is where they are. They got this consternation.
The Kansas Supreme Court just ruled that voting isn't a right of an American citizen. This is the only way Republicans can win. They have no plans. They just have to keep changing the goalposts. Saying it's not a right. Everybody, even the dumbest fucking American, knows it's a right. This should outrage anyone who's a true...
Blah, 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 sir. It appears you don't understand or recognize or acknowledge your history of what you did to us. This is karma. They're doing to you as you all have done to us. Your granny, your grandfather, your mama, your daddy. Y'all said that we couldn't vote. Matter of fact, you murdered us if we did vote. If we gathered, you murdered us. And then you wanted to put in this BS about freedom. Did nobody want no freedom? It was never about, when we wanted to vote, it was never about freedom. It was always about justice. You guys hijacked our plight and then used these words, freedom, free-edom, in lieu of what we're after. We don't want your freaking equality. We don't want your freedom. We want our justice. That's what we want. That's why it's a slippery slope and it's perilous times for the heathen right now. It's perilous times for them. They can go either way. They can slide away. And they will have no one to blame but themselves, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. As they should blame themselves. It's an abomination of them to this day to sit here and act like what is going on is some miraculous thing that is unbelievable. I can't believe that they're doing these things. I can't, what? But that's why. That's okay. That's fine. That's why it will be much sorrow. That's why this is your trouble. That's why it is perilous times for you. That's why your eschatology will not save you. That's why we're going to have our salvation and we'll be loving it. Israel, don't give up. Don't give out. And don't give in. All praises to our Elohim. and to the nation, stay up. Shalom.
Anatomy of an ad.
Subconsciously trigger emotions through music. Perfect.
Define an opportunity.
Imagine talking to millions of people across the U.S. like I am now.
Identify a problem.
Creating an audio ad is time-consuming.
Offer a solution.
Utilize cutting-edge AI. Imagine creating all that in under 30 seconds. Well, we did to create this ad. To learn more about AI in the audio industry, download the white paper from audiostack.ai.
Where I grew up looks a lot like rural places that I work in now. When I was getting out of the military, I wanted to continue serving, and this role helps me to do that. Working with farmers and landowners on renewable energy projects isn't just a job. These projects create economic opportunity and help make our country more secure. This is a life-changing opportunity for the landowners and their community. It's really exciting to make an impact like that.
Fuel for Thought, presented by the American Clean Power Association.